will begin shortly. Your live interactive Weather Authority coverage will begin shortly. Your live Weather Authority coverage starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's having a nice evening. Of course, it's been warm, it's been wet, it's been foggy, it feels like spring, it's been muddy outside. That's all going to freeze solid by morning. There may be some scattered outages. I don't think it's going to be very widespread. But winds tomorrow will be gusting 35 to 40 miles per hour, 30 to 40 miles per hour. And tonight we'll have some strong winds as well. It's not going to be extreme though. The front moves through 10 p.m. to about midnight for most of the area. Looks like a lot of you are jumping in on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Thanks for joining me this evening. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this weather extra tonight, but I just want to highlight some of the key times, what to expect over the next 24 hours. I think the key points to take away here is a very strong front is moving through. About 2 or 3 hours from now, and that's going to drop the temperatures. A freeze is possible. The good news is the wind will hopefully dry up some of the roadways, but the deeper puddles, they're going to freeze up tonight. So be mindful of that. Icy spots are expected. Hard to believe, right, with temperatures running in the 40s and 50s, but I think by morning we're in the teens and 20s. And the other big story is the wind. Mid-coast Maine may get some wind gusts around 40 to 50 miles per hour tonight before the front out of the south. And then later on tonight, just about everyone gets gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. And that will extend into and through the day tomorrow. So there probably will be at least some scattered outages into our Thursday. I just checked the CMP outages about an hour ago, and it wasn't extreme. It was a little over 1,000 customers or something like that. But we're not looking at one of those 3,000 to 200 or 300,000 customers without power. Hopefully we can put that behind us this winter here. All right, let's waste no time and jump into this front that is approaching from the west. And actually before that, I think the first graphic lined up is this one, is tomorrow's forecast. Wow, what a change, right? What happened? Back to winter. Don't forget to have the kids wear a winter jacket to the bus stop tomorrow. We're talking upper 20s, and the wind chills will be in the single numbers in teens, and the winds will be gusting probably 40 miles per hour. So tomorrow is going to be a windy day. The good news is, I think by now, I think we all need a little bit of sunshine. We'll get it tomorrow. Tonight we have the fog, we have the drizzle, we have the showers, the periods of rain. That's Naples, a live look. It is 46 degrees in Naples now. All right, this is going to be exciting. Watch this, guys. We have temperatures in the 40s and 50s currently. You can kind of make out the wind direction, right? Basically, areas in the 40s have some sort of ocean component to it with a south wind off the ice cube of the Gulf of Maine. You're a little bit cooler than areas like, have more of a land breeze, like Sanford, for instance, Freiburg. You are in the 50s. I think we may briefly touch 50 degrees in Portland just ahead of the front, but the front moves through, my guess, around 10, 11 o'clock tonight. So check this out. This is going to be crazy. This is about 10 o'clock tonight. It's possible we could be looking at some areas with temperatures running in the 50s or upper 40s and low 50s, and some areas maybe in the 20s. So the front means business as it moves through. The temperatures are probably still going to fall about 25 degrees in about 6 hours. That's pretty impressive. If you're a weather enthusiast, you have to have a solid respect for Mother Nature and that sort of setup, right? Let's take you into the morning now. I think by 6 a.m., temps are in the teens and 20s. Now, I guess if there's any good news, the wind stays active all night long. So we're starting around 50, right? So it's probably going to take a couple hours for the temperatures to get down below freezing. My hope is within that 2-3 hour window, the wind stays strong enough to dry up the roadways, at least on the well-traveled roads. But the problem areas will be areas where maybe the back roads where you have poor drainage and, deeper puddles, maybe parking lots, sidewalks, driveways, things like that, where you have deeper puddles. Be mindful of that because there will be slippery spots into the morning tomorrow with temps dipping into the teens and 20s to start the day. So tomorrow's going to feel like winter, but it's only one day. It's crazy how this winter's going, right? I mean, you think, you're back to winter, but, by Friday, Saturday, we're back in the 40s and 50s. Okay, so we have some rain out there tonight. Nothing terribly heavy. When it's not raining, it's drizzling. That pretty much has been the rule all day long. And here we are. We're, it's about 8 o'clock right now, 7:54. And the cold front is right there. See it? Approaching through New York. So it's pretty close. Give it a couple more hours. It will be arriving in our neck of the woods. And it's one of those where you may, if your bedroom window faces west, you may wake up to the wind because we'll start with a south wind, right? Winds will be out of the south ahead of the front, just like that. And just behind the front, the wind shifts over to the west. And it's going to be an abrupt wind shift. And the wind will probably start gusting around 40 miles per hour immediately behind the front. Anywhere from 11 p.m. to about 3 a.m. will probably spike with some of the strong winds. And then they'll subside a bit and then come back up during the day tomorrow as the atmosphere becomes very well mixed. Today we did not have a well mixed atmosphere. We have what we call a very strong inversion. So the strongest winds have been aloft. And tomorrow we'll be able to tap into some strong winds aloft. So that's what's going to happen tomorrow. So there comes a cold front swinging through tonight, probably around 11 o'clock for a lot of towns. Closer to maybe midnight, 1 o'clock over toward Penobscot Bay. So the farther east you are, the later it's going to be. Either way, though, the temperature is going to plummet. We're probably talking about temps dipping into the teens and 20s by morning, single digits and teens for wind chills. So tomorrow's going to feel like winter. At least we'll have some sun returning. And it stays cold and windy the entire day. 10 o'clock tonight, we have the front moving through. For many areas, you're seeing temps still in the 40s and 50s, but just on the backside, we have some rain changing to snow, and many of you will probably get a little bit of snow on the backside, maybe a coating in some spots. But best chance for maybe a coating to an inch will be in the mountains. But you may get a rumble of thunder moving through as well, so that's something to keep an eye on. It's a slight chance. A little notice by morning, though. Here we are, 6 a.m. Those 40s and 50s have transitioned over to teens and 20s. Winds are now out of the west. We have some sun returning. Wind chills are in the single numbers in teens. And I don't know. I think these are kind of interesting and fun events here. I don't think we're going to get widespread outages. That's good news. There may be some scattered outages. Some of the dead branches may break. And, of course, you have some problems on the with the power grid when that happens. But I don't think we're going to see any major widespread outages. If this was 2-3 months from now with leaves on the trees, entirely different setup, right? Because when leaves are in the trees, a 40-mile-per-hour wind is a lot different. We get a lot more outages in that sort of setup as the trees kind of blow around and break a lot easier. But 1 o'clock in the afternoon at 1:30, notice we're struggling to get out of the 20s and 30s with a strong west wind. Quick look at the temperatures versus wind chill. Yes, temperatures on the top, wind chills on the bottom. It's February, right? So you'd think that we're going to get days like this, right? We just haven't had many days like this. Especially after the taste of spring, it's tough to go backwards, right? I have a sneaking suspicion we will be going backwards a little bit mid to late March. But we're going to pay the price. We're going to have to at some point. All right, temps are going to be in the 20s to near 30 at the coast, mid-20s inland. Wind chills will be in the teens. So there probably will be some areas inland that dip into the single numbers for wind chills, and that's the number you need to dress for. When you combine the air temperature and the wind speed, that's how it feels in your skin. So we'll keep the weather warn rolling late tonight and into the day tomorrow for some scattered outages. It's a low-end weather warn. That's our company's way of saying, hey, heads up. Yep, we have some inclement weather, impactful weather to talk about. So that's the red icon right there. Friday, temps modify back near 40 degrees, low 40s on Saturday. If we break into some sun Saturday, we could hit 50, but I don't think that's going to happen. There'll be a little bit of rainfall that's close to us. Still some question marks. Does it get north? I think we will get some rain on Saturday. Not big, though. A little bit of light rain, and then partly sunny skies return Sunday. Sunday, away from the coast, we should get in the mid-50s. In the extended forecast, some showers or drizzle still possible on Tuesday. I'm wondering if that's going to stay offshore. That's something to keep an eye on here, but it looks like temperatures will stay on the warm side through this extended forecast, after tomorrow, of course. Tomorrow's the only cold day. We'll get through tomorrow, and it's back to spring and mud, and I don't know, if you have a dog at home, you probably know what I'm talking about, the muddy paws. This is the time of year where it's tough to keep the dogs clean. All right, let's go back real quick here and take a look at the timing of the temperatures real quick. This is the current temperature setup. We're at 46 right now. Some areas are in the 50s. And the front swinging through, boom, just like that. Big temperature change is expected, and I think everything's going to start off right around 10 o'clock tonight. Maybe close to 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Actually, we're at 8 now. About an hour from now, 9 o'clock, over into central and western parts of New Hampshire. All right, maybe we can answer some of your questions. Looks like we have a few people checking in. Carlos says, we will pay the price. Yeah, he's referring to my comment. We will pay the price for the warm temperatures. We always do, right? Mother Nature will balance things out. That's what happens. Hey, it was just 2 years ago. Actually, 2018 was the big one. And then 2 years ago now, everybody was all up in arms about the drought, right? Is it ever going to rain again? Is it ever going to rain? Because of climate change, it's never going to rain. Now it won't stop raining. We had the wettest summer on record, most humid on record, and third most humid on record, I'm sorry. And we can blame that on climate change too. Well, you probably can blame both. We'll see. But I don't know. I think Carlos brings up a very good point. Mother Nature is going to even things out for us. She always does. Evans, mid to late March, yeah. Referring to, So there's a lot of modeling. There's some modeling. Mostly the European model, suggesting some blocking up north, lower than normal heights in the eastern half of the United States, and that's all I look for an active pattern. It's, we'll get some. I think we'll get some storms. The big question is, will it be cold enough for storms? And I think it will. I think we'll get some snow. Mid to late March. We just have another week of this nonsense, I bet. Okay, let's see. Herrick. Jen says, rain and wind tomorrow. No rain tomorrow, Jen. Just wind. And sunny and cold. Don't forget the thick jacket tomorrow. It's going to be cold. It's going to be like the cold and the wind is going to be biting tomorrow. It's one day of it. We've got this, though. That's a good way to learn. Look at the European model, 500 millibar heights, Evan. You'll see what I'm talking about. The ensembles. Look at that, because that will go out farther. And you'll get a chance to see what I'm talking about. You get big blocking highs up in Canada, and you have lower than normal heights, or higher than normal heights in Canada, lower than normal heights in the eastern half of the U.S. So that's what we're talking about for a return to maybe some storms and cold and probably some snow. So, yeah, it's great, right? I can tell Evan's a weather enthusiast. All right, if you have questions, give me an email. Drop me a message. All right, so we just talked rain. Yeah, just the wind tomorrow and the sun. All right, Brandon's here. What's up, Brandon? How are you? Wind speeds, Lewis and Auburn, 30 to 40 miles per hour tomorrow. Might get a few gusts over 40. I think that's possible in Lewis and Auburn. It could be some scattered outages, but not widespread. I hope that helps, Brandon. Icy roads tomorrow, Angie says. Yeah, definitely. I think that any standing water is going to freeze up. There's no question about it. The good news we have in our favor, Angie, is the wind stays active all night. So my hope is in the 2-3 hour window before we drop below freezing, that wind will help dry up at least some of the main roadways. You know, the roadways that drain really well, like the highways and the state highways. It's more of the areas that have standing water. If you have standing water, deeper puddles, there's no question it's going to be icy tomorrow in those areas. But I don't think it's a traditional flash freeze for that reason, just because we're starting at 50. If we were 36 and then dip to 25 in an hour, that might be different. But my hope is we're above freezing for a few hours before, so the wind can actually dry up the roads. So thank goodness for the wind. If you're without power later tonight, though, you probably won't be saying that. The sap. Greg and I were just talking about this, Natasha. Well, the sap stopped flowing. Do you think the temp doesn't go below freezing Sunday night, Monday? Yeah. So that's going to be the issue going forward is, daytime high is going to be fine for the sap to flow. You just need the nighttime temperatures to dip below freezing. So I don't think we're heading into an ideal week coming up for maple syrup production, simply because the nighttime temperatures won't get really cold. So something to keep an eye on, though. There's a lot of uncertainty in the pattern for the weekend and into next week. I think we'll get into some of that rain Saturday, but there's some forecast modeling that kind of keeps some precipitation in the area early next week. I'm kind of banking on that staying a little bit farther to the east. So I think the warm temps will win out. So the good question though. I don't think the sap's going to be great. It's not going to be a great sap run simply because of the nighttime temperatures. When is the wind supposed to start? Right when the front comes through. It's probably around 10 p.m. This is actually the graphic here, Margaret. So notice the front swings through, temperatures fall back down to the 20s and 30s, and this takes us to about 6 a.m. Now I want to show you the wind graphic real quick here. Did I have to start off with the wind? No, I started off with the temperature graphic. Sorry, folks. Let's get to the wind. Did I even show the wind? Hold on. We'll find it. Margaret, we're going to find the wind for you. Just got to find my cursor first. Stop. Dun, dun, dun. Bear with me. I'm going to find the graphic. I don't think I actually snuck that in here. Huh. We'll find it. Here we go. All right. We're putting the slide in right now. Boom. We got it. We got it. So winds right now are about 30, gusts of 30 miles per hour. Our peak wind gust so far is 38 in Portland. No real surprises so far. We have what we call a very strong inversion, keeping the strongest winds aloft. Now that breaks or that changes as soon as the front comes through, 10, 11, midnight. You'll probably notice that it immediately picks up out of the west. So let's track this out. There's the front right there. This is about 8 p.m. Notice over toward Penobscot Bay, right around now, we're gusting to maybe 35 to 45 miles per hour. But the front swings through between 10 and 11. 10 and midnight, I should say, and immediately in the wake of the front, that's when the winds are going to pick up. Right there, it's a west wind. You see that? And we'll get some gusts, 20 to 30, I should say 30 to 40 miles per hour. I think those winds will subside a little bit overnight, and then they'll pick up again tomorrow. So all day tomorrow, the wind will probably be gusting 30 to 40 miles per hour. There probably will be some peak wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. So what does that mean, Margaret? With no leaves on the trees, I think we're in decent shape. I mean, it's just going to be a windy day and a cold day. There will be some scattered outages. I feel confident about that. Right now, we already have scattered outages. But is it a widespread outage situation? Don't think so. Can't hurt to charge the phone and that kind of thing. But it looks like we will have a windy day all day tomorrow, and that starts late tonight. So hope that answers your question, Margaret. Is a different front? Yeah, no, it's funny, Natasha. There's no real defined warm front. What's happening is you have colder air that's rushing down out of Canada, but it's very short-lived. It's a very progressive pattern. So there's just so much warm air to our west and south that it will be overwhelming the pattern in the coming days. So by the weekend, we're back in the 40s and 50s. It's not going to be like a sharp warm front swinging through or anything like that, bringing some more wet weather and things like that. Instead, it's just going to slowly warm up, 40s and 50s. You know, your normal high is 38, so we're getting that part of the season anyway. Will there be snow? Yes, I think there will be some snow on the backside of this. Not much, though. Maybe a coating to an inch or so. Let's take a look at some of that snow coming in. There it is. See up towards Rangeley at about 10 o'clock tonight. It's snowing, and the back edge of that will be shifting off to the east. So northern Maine, yes, Van Buren will be getting into a little bit of snow. Not much, though. It's too short-lived, Frank. Frank or Erica? I don't know who I'm responding to. Must be a joint account. Or maybe that's your last name. Erica Frank. I bet it's Erica. All right, I'm going with that. Sometimes people switch their names on their Facebook accounts. So I hope that answers your question, Erica. Van Buren, yes, we'll get a little bit of snow. Not much, though. I mean, it would be great to get more for snowmobiling and skiing and that kind of thing. Hello, Jan. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. All right. It's already windy, Barbie says, up in Sydney. All right. Well, Sydney, we're watching some of the rivers up there, too. One thing we haven't talked about is the ice jam potential, particularly in the foothills. Ice-covered rivers, they'll be breaking up tonight. And yeah, at least the rivers, the ice will be breaking up. And then maybe some ice dams. So that's some ice jams, which could dam up the river. That's something to watch. But I don't think that's going to be it's not an alerting situation or anything like that. The probability is still fairly low, but something that we'll be watching. And if any flood warnings are issued, we'll let you know about them. All right, Klein says, oh, the fog is bad. All right. Good to know. Fog is bad up in Franklin County. All right, so what's happening up in Franklin County, Klein? You have warm temperatures over this colder snowpack. I like to say this is snow-eating fog. Ski resorts hate this. Snow-eating fog. A wind with fog kind of eats the snow more than anything. The snow goes away quickly. That sort of setup. But yeah, that man-made snow at the resorts, that stuff's bulletproof. So they'll be in good shape after this. I'm not concerned. Ski resorts will rebound, no problem. They'll be skiing through March and April this year. Yeah, you're right, Troy. We got it. We got the updates at 10. We get the updates at 11 as well. CBS 13 at 11, Fox 23 at 10. Will the roads? All right, Cindy, I don't know if I got you a question earlier. I think the main roads, the wind will help dry up the roads, but any deeper puddles, no question, will be icy tomorrow. Yeah, there will be some icy spots. Feel confident saying icy spots. I don't think it's like everyone's icy because the wind will hopefully dry up the roads. But yeah, keep an eye out for icy spots. Kayla, I don't think so. Will there be delays? I don't think so. My guess is no, but I guess there's a possibility always. Temps go from 50 to teens and 20s. Yeah, you probably have some icy spots, but hopefully the wind dries things up a bit. Everybody's asking for school. Nikki says, morning commute for school. I think there's two things happening for the morning commute. One, if there are icy spots, the road crews will have plenty of time to get out and take care of it, usually with, ice and salt. I should say sand and salt on the ice. And two, if we're starting in the 40s and then we clear out, the rain moves out, we'll probably have 2 or 3 hours for the wind to dry up the roads before temperatures get below freezing. So my hope is that we'll dry up the main roads. But, any deeper puddles, any standing water by morning, no question will be icy. I know David really wants the info because he's one of the guys that has to go out and make sure that the parking lots and driveways and everything are treated. So yeah, I hope you got the info here, David, but probably not a flash freeze in the traditional sense. I think there's two things that will help us: the wind, and two, we're starting in the upper 40s to near 50. If we were starting at like 35 and then temperatures drop 10 degrees, then yeah, we would have a big issue. But my hope is that skies will clear out. We'll have at least a 2-hour window before the temperatures get below freezing, and we'll probably know by 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, good luck with that. But I don't think it's probably worst case scenario for flash freeze. With that said, though, you're gonna almost definitely need some salt and sand on icy spots with deeper puddles and things like that. Yeah. I'll be curious to see what Mount Washington. Yeah, I used to work at Mount Washington Observatory. I used to love nights like this. There was some nights where the front would come through, and the way the weather office is up at the observatory is it faces north, and then there's another window that faces west. And I remember sometimes you get a cold front that comes through like this, and then it would just get so loud where the wind would shift over the west, and it would start going up to 100, 130 miles an hour, and sometimes you get sleet hitting the windows, and I don't know. It's always an exciting night for the weather observers up there. So yeah, we'll have to watch that. Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder what the wind is right now. I'm pretty sure it's up over 100. They've had gusts up to 100 today, but they'll get stronger winds tonight and tomorrow. All right. I think that's it, folks. I think I've answered everyone's question, at least what I'm seeing in front of me here. So I apologize if I have not got to your question. So the bottom line here is two things we're watching. Big cool down. That's going to be the big story tonight from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Temps drop about 25 degrees, maybe even a little bit more in some areas. So flash freeze, it's possible. It's more likely just icy spots. Hopefully the wind dries up some of the roadways, the well-traveled roads, hopefully that drain better. I think the wind will hopefully dry up those. But deeper puddles, yeah, we're going to see that freeze up. Other big story, wind Mid-coast Maine, next couple of hours could get some gusts around 40 to 50. And then as soon as the front moves through, it's a west wind area-wide. We're all going to get some strong gusts overnight and into and through the day tomorrow. So not extreme, but some scattered outages are expected with gusts around 40 into our Thursday. All right, we'll leave it there, folks. Hope everybody has a nice night. We'll have more updates on Fox 23 at 10 and CBS 13 11. All right, take care.